Hey everyone, this is Master Pija, and I'm planning to do a fun new series just for YouTube right now. And I'm thinking of calling it Final Fantasy, as in I'm gonna post almost weekly questions about characters, games, genre, storylines, items, stuff like that. Stuff that people would find interesting about the games, or I personally have yet to answer. And I'll try my best to find answers to these questions, or take your posts on the questions and find answers for you from other viewers on YouTube. And I guess I'll start the genre off with one of my favorite questions, and I'm hoping to find an answer to it, but most likely not. Is whatever happened to Final Fighting Fantasy? Final Fantasy has always had a very inspiring story, with crazy characters that have always gone on epic tales and accomplished such things as defeating the essence of chaos, reuniting with a lost brother to defeat a greater evil, and I guess defeating this crazy SOB. These vivid characters, an array of character types, have always fought for whatever they believed in as was presented through their struggles. But once the final boss has been beaten, the final credits have rolled, what happens after the end or game over comes onto the screen? That's where Final Fighting Fantasy comes in. Final Fighting Fantasy is a genre made in flash animation with a little bit of voice acting near one of the final episodes that takes place with our heroes from Final Fantasy games, such as 1 and 2, or 4 for those who had it released somewhere outside of North America before the re-release for the PlayStation. 7, and as other games you can see up behind me through pretty much 1 through 7. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and some stuff from Tactics, strangely enough. The main storyteller has a funny way of linking everything together, as it seems that they're bound to fight each other in this alternate world controlled by the Ancients. And it seems that one crucial character that seems to show up in most of the games, as you guys would probably know him as Sid, ties all the characters together, and unfortunately they have no more bad guys to face, so face one another. The series Final Fighting Fantasy is actually not really that difficult to find on the internet anymore. Find it in such places as eBomb World and YouTube, and my favorite place to find it with the best quality, I'd say, would be Newgrounds. But the strange thing about it is that you can't find any proper links to the official website. The first episode was actually released in December 5th of the year 2001, and the series went on to release another 12 episodes, ending with the 13th episode called Showdown on February 17th, 2005. Now, the funny thing is that there's been mention of a game to be released for free, obviously the 14th and final episode with better animations and full-length voice acting for most of the characters, which is not really that common in the previous episodes. There has been heated debate about this topic on many such websites as the Final Fantasy Forum, the Nuclear Power Forums, and even the Square Enix Forums. With Final Fighting Fantasy Showdown, the 13th episode, being the final one, his disappearance of the website, and no actual release of the planned game in question, one can only think that it was something that was done or brought down due to Square Enix licensing laws. And to be truthful, this isn't the only time this has happened. Some of you might actually remember Big Buzz of a private group who were designing a remake of Chrono Trigger, nicknamed Chrono Trigger Resurrection. Now, these videos created a lot of commotion among Final Fantasy and Chrono Trigger fans alike, because the videos showed a lot of vivid 3D for the games, not to mention the fact that the music that they made was fantastic. the orchestra and everything alike. But it was brought down by Square Enix licensing laws, which is what I kind of offer as my hypothesis for what happened to this series as well. I don't know if it was the animation itself, or possibly the idea of a release of a game that probably brought down Square Enix's wrath on this internet series, but it's the most probable reason as to why. You'll never find the conclusion of this fantastic series. The canning of this series online just seems to be something very tragic to me because it had the potential to be very great. But one thing that I find really interesting about the time when it kind of went under was that around that time, Square Enix had released concept art and news of a new Final Fantasy game called Final Fantasy Dissidia. Now, this game was released in Japan in December 18th of the year 2008, and the following North American release in 2009 around August 25th. This game just seems a little too at the perfect time, you know? Final Fighting Fantasy, a crossover of the main characters fighting each other over some strange plot of ancients, is canned, whereas a new game made by Square Enix is released with a crossover of the main heroes of Light having to refine the powers of their crystals and pretty much fight as puppets of a game between the goddess of light and the god of chaos, you know? It's just strange. And I guess I'll never really know the answer, and maybe it's just a little crazy conspiracy theory, but I'd really like you guys to post your comments down below in the comment bars and tell me what you think of my ideas to the reason of why this is canned, and if you ever think that the final episode will ever be released. And I'd also like you guys to post ideas for future questions. I've already got in mind for a couple of questions just to, you know, start off my series, but I will take video responses and everything like that, and I'll try my best to find viable answers, or at least good questions to things that are interesting in the Final Fantasy series. And I guess that's it. Master Feej is out. Peace, guys.